This video is about Ghostlike, who is Vinny New from RockIt Music. If you're not familiar with RockIt Music, they've made songs on Rainbow Friends, that Roblox Doors game. They made songs on Five Nights at Freddy's, Cuphead. I mostly know them for the alphabet lore, and their song Burn. I think it was Burn, it's just hard to tell. Despite this, Vinny has a great personality. He's kind of more upbeat than RockIt. You get the professor, the prodigy, the superhero, the sidekick, the brother, the sister. I mean, that last one was terrible and weird, but you get what I mean. I consider Vinny more than just RockIt's sidekick. I didn't last year, found his channel during December. Now he's made a lot of music since then that I had only chose to pay attention to now since I don't know how to say this because it's hard to explain. So I won't. I've just been busy. Now pay attention. Secrets of the Mimic looked terrible. I was uninterested. It felt like a Poppy Playtime copycat. It behaved like it was made by someone who wanted to squeeze themselves into the mascot horror game genre, which is embarrassing considering Five Nights at Freddy's created that genre. It just doesn't feel like it was made with the best intention. Yes, the graphics look great, the designs had such hard work put into them, and gameplay mechanics aren't just popped out of a hat like a magician's rabbit. It takes genuine dedication and long hours to generate into a game, and the sad part is that just because you worked hard doesn't make it original. It feels like a script that was sitting in the garbage for a reason. When it was finally done and over, I was relieved, because that game was so awkward. Except for the Mimic herself. I really liked her design. She really reminded me of Circus Baby, which kind of renewed that touch or feeling or whatever you would call it. But hell, the nurse looked like a remake of Miss Delight. Awkward enough, I didn't even bother to stay tuned for the secrets, not even for Super Herbro. That game was terrible, but out of all bad things, rebirth is necessary, and inspiration can be achieved from something that hasn't committed itself to greatness, such as Vinny's song, which is, I don't know what it's called, but we'll just call it the Mimic song since he called it that first. It's tense and kind of loud. I like it. I love the screaming effect. The difference between RockIt and Vinny is that RockIt can shout far enough for it to sound like an emergency, whereas Vinny's screaming coming from his music sounds more like he's given up hope and he knows that screaming for help won't actually help him. I give it a 10 out of 10. I'm biased. I'm not shy about that. Now, as for Vinny himself, I can't fully commit to an artist if I don't like their personality. Take the phrase cyberstalking and just imagine how much information you can get from Vinny. You don't even need to do cyberstalking because a lot of these nerdcore artists actually produce a lot of themselves on screen, revealing more than they intend to. I have noticed something very interesting that I deeply appreciate about Vinny. Now, in a recent short, he kind of started talking about how he revealed the way he was going to make the song with a purple dice and a green dice, really big dice. In this short, there is a shot of his microphone, which I didn't think twice about until somebody in the comment section stated that he has a bracelet that they gave to him, and he replied by saying that he wraps the bracelets around his microphone so he can look at them. That is so, can I say sweet? This is like the scene of a homeless kid and the rich guy meeting for the first time, and then the rich guy kind of gets empathy while having a conversation with this poor kid. Okay, well, that's a horrible metaphor, but you know what I mean. This invoked more than it was supposed to, in my personal opinion. I don't like Sorry, I'm hesitant. I don't like celebrities. Hell, I don't do anything for those selfish bastards because they don't know how to appreciate it. But so, this and the thought that had to go into it when he decided, yes, I want to stare at this every time I make a new song, to remind myself why I like making music. Not entirely accurate, but it's still pretty. I can't say cute considering that would be weird. I don't know, sweet? So sweet. So sweet. I swear. Not every single nerdcore artist is the same, and each one produces in a different way. Differences. One of the bigger reasons I like Vinny is because he's got more of a gothic growl to his tone. Please don't take that I'm saying that in a kinky way. I mean it in a genuinely professional manner. Take me seriously, okay? Now, RockIt is more of a pitchier voice made to invoke bigger emotions. He's more sensitive, he's more the sensitive side of their vocals, whereas Vinny is more of the predator side of their vocals. I'm sorry if that sounds inappropriate. I've just been typing some really messed up things lately. Anyway, Vinny is purple, RockIt is red. Purple is more dark in stature and produces more grim color schemes. It is a subtle yet powerful appearance. It doesn't have to look aggressive to be passionately so. So this color is, by Google standards, considered creativity, wisdom, magic, royalty, and things like that. I consider purple to match well with darker colors, unless we're talking pastel purple, but I actually mean the original purple. Now, red. Red is described as passion, love, and all those intense emotions of anger and frustration and boiling emotions, which is really descriptive on RockIt's part, because I find him to be more in tune with emotional sides of the songs that they make. Like Creatures, he's more light-hearted. The sound of his voice just matches so well with the idea of depression and anxiety. He does Green really well, a miserable friend who's always jealous, yet they're sick of constantly being jealous. As for Vinny himself, Bang, weird name, another Rainbow Friends song, but if you listen to the sound of Vinny's voice in that one, you can hear him kind of growling. It could be auto-tune and I wouldn't know, but then there's also Sprunky Time. Almost close to the end of the song where Vinny is singing that part, the whispering and then faster pacing lyrics, Vinny has the ability to sound like a villain and a victim. Whereas RockIt would sound more like the victim, even if he was singing for the sake of a villain. He makes the villain sound a lot like a victim. The lyrics boost that scenario of the villain actually being a victim. Take Dog Day's song, for example. Even when he's not in this emotional state of crying out about how miserable he is, there's the phrase that uses, I'm bad like this, I'm bad like that, do what I want because I want you, tearing you apart because I want to. He sounds like he doesn't actually want to do that, but he does it because it makes him feel better. Vinny also sings in that one. RockIt has a very sensitive, yet still masculine vocal cord. Then when Vinny sings, it feels like a tunnel vision effect, where it's you and that dog in the darkness and it's hunting you down. Both of them singing at the same time kind of produces mixed emotions, like you don't know if you should feel bad or scared. They really combine like a puzzle, in my personal opinion. Putting them in separation, where Vinny is making his own music, he has the ability to make villains even more vocally powerful. Like the Jinx song. I love that song. Now, he sings with two other people whom I don't actually know, but if you caught the tone of Vinny's vocals, he's not trying to be threatening, he's actually really calm, yet it has the ability to sound like he's this super villain resting back in his chair, smirking at your misery. Morbid. But then when he's playing the victim, like I said before, RockIt is more of the screamer, the emotional core, the empathy of the situation. In Vinny's case, singing for the victim makes it sound like the victim has already given up on finding a way out. Sorry, my sinuses are acting up. It's a new season. I really love it. It sounds great. It's awesome. I enjoy it so much. I've never loved musical talent as much as I love rock and music. The two-man band. But Vinny's channel, which is called Ghost Like, I did mention that before. It has so many emotions and hopelessness at the same time. I don't know if I'm weird and just over-exaggerating, but I like Ghost Like's absence of confidence. When Vinny is singing alongside other nerdcore artists, you can definitely tell when Vinny is singing and when the others are singing. I have not studied the other nerdcore artists as well as I have studied Vinny's channel, so I'm not saying they can't compete. I'm just considering Vinny as the ringleader of these countless individuals who sound like they're in distress. I really like it. It's so in character, like watching a cosplay that's really well done. Funny enough, this one is a little secret, so take it how you will. I actually hate anime. I don't like the animations of anime. It looks really fragile, uncomfortable. The movements are really stiff and loose at the same time. Now, I've never heard of the majority of the things that Vinny makes songs about, because the last time I got curious, I got introduced to Sally Face, and I will never, ever in my whole life get curious about nerdcore music again. I mean, nerdcore music, yes, but what they're singing about. is a different story. Finding Super Bro is one of the small pieces of gratitude that I have for getting curious, but in the majority of the cases, I was exposed to so much inappropriate content when I was 12 to 15 years old. Curiosity killed the cat and my innocence. I ruined my brain. I wrecked my stories because of the crack I was inspired off of. But anyway, I give my I give my script a 5 out of 10 and you should too. I worked hard on today's video, especially considering I got 4 pictures out of it and each of them are now framed. Sorry about my sinuses. This one was easier to do than the others, considering the picture was so small and the camera was more manageable because it was more close up. Now, I usually do my videos horizontally, but I think it ends up more blurry if I do that, so I think I'm gonna just go with vertical. It is vertical, right? I hope so. Now, my frames aren't as cute as certain other ones, but I got these for free, so I'm definitely not complaining. I might even start buying my own secondhand ones. As for my stories, we'll see where that one goes, since I don't think people are as receptive to those than they are to these speed drawing ones, and I can definitely come up with several reasons as to why, but I won't and don't overthink it, and won't force you to either. But I will be preparing something in case of audiobooks because I do love writing and prefer to share all of my creativity instead of just the 50%. I hope one day I can remake this video and offer you guys a more visually pleasing experience and a little more context behind my obsession with nerdcore music. Sorry this is taking so long. I'll talk to you guys again when I have another wallpaper, and then I'll tell you what I'm gonna do with that wallpaper. That sounds like a threat, but I swear I'm only here to mentally stimulate you. Goodbye.